Welcome to my channel with Revit course for beginners. This is part 2 of first term. Let's go. In upcoming 20 minutes, we're going to talk about floors, levels, ceilings, and the elevation or sections. Let's start with levels. As you learned previously, levels define the vertical height in the building. You may also notice when you start new projects in the Revit, it comes with some levels defined by default. For example, in construction template, there is level 0, level 1, and levels for foundation. But in architectural templates, the foundation levels are not included, as they are not necessary for architectural project. Anyway, all these levels can be edited based on your preferences. Let's back to the file that we conducted in this tutorial. These are our correct levels. You can see both the first and ground floor has a symbol in blue color. This means the floor plan associated with these two levels. The level behind the surface has the color of black, because we don't have plans for them and they're deleted. Remember, you can check out the floors looking at project browser. There is also site plan here, but it's for indicate the location of your project. Now let's see how we can make plan view for a specific floor. From View tab, going to Plan Views and select Floor Plan that we want to generate. I'm click on TO footing to create new views. Now here it is. The tab is open for new views. And in the elevation views, you can see that it turns to blue. And new floor plan in project browser. At the same time, it's possible to choose more than one level, and they're going to generate at the same time. Now let's learn how to create a new level. On the Architecture tab, click on this icon, Level. I want to draw a new level above the first floor. It's gonna be the second floor. So put your pointer on the level symbol, and when it gets to highlight, drag your pointer to upside. Now you're seeing this tracking line. It measures the distance from first floor. Type 3 to place it 3 meters from first floor. And go to the other side. Hold the pointer on the symbols to be in line with the other symbols. Have a look at the options bars that popped up. As you see, Make Plan View is ticked. It means the new plan for this level has been generated, as well as the ceiling plan. Click on the Modify to exit the operation. To modify the height, it works the way like the other elements, like walls. Let's see. Click on the one that you want to change, and then change the height on the temporarily dimension that appear. Now let's do some practice. You can find all the files link below on the description for this video to short practice. And right now I'm going to delete all these levels under the ground floor. With pressing delete, there is a warning that says that 3 views is going to delete. Yes. Now I'm going to add new level. Click on levels. So hold the pointer here and drag down. And place the new level in 0.3 meter. Remember, in Revit, the distances that's showing in our drawing are precise, unlike the AutoCAD. Then I click at the other side. Repeat the same process for the other levels. Now for placing the underground level, I'm gonna type 3.7 because it's calculating from the last level, not from the surface. So after drawing all, you can notice that some of the levels name is above the others. So how we can change it? This is because of the narrow space between them. So let's change and modify the level's name position. It's easy. Now we're going to fix it. So click on one of the levels and zoom in a bit. You're gonna notice this little jack here that you can click on it, and now you can see it's discontinued line. So use these two created points to reposition the name of the level wherever you want. Right here you can barely notice the amount of the level 8, so let's click on the jack and then reposit them to not overlap the text above. Now I'm going to reposit all these, and don't worry that level height doesn't change. And also, if you prefer to have a vertical leaders, the grips has a snap to this position. It's quite easy. Then I would like to change the name of the levels. You just need to click on them and change the name. And for the last one, base of the foundation, I don't need a view plan, so on ceiling plans and also ones here in structural plans. Did you notice that when all those deleted, it changed the color to black? Floors. So let's go back to the floor plan. Ground floor. So the next element that I'm going to add is floor. As you can see, there is more than one option. I'm going to use the floor architectural. Unlike the elements that I've showed you in this tutorial previously, like windows, doors, walls, here, as you can see, the modify floor appears in sketch mode. And the same situation happens to stairs and railings and some other elements. The main character of sketch mode is these two characters here, the tick to confirm and the cross to cancel it. It's the only way to get out of these elements. It doesn't work with simply pressing the escape and the enter. And it's normal to try to press escape and enter without success. You will recognize it later. Now let's proceed to draw a floor plan with this boundary lines. You can use a line, rectangle, arc or other geometries, or these last ones that calls pick walls. I'm going to choose it, and you're gonna see that's quite easy to use it. You only need to click on walls until you create boundaries. Select all exterior walls. Also pay attention to option bar that it's marked. Extend into wall to core. This means the full core is inside the boundary. However, if there was a finished face, it wouldn't be included. Whenever you finished, click on tick to place the floor and exit the sketch mode. Now it's time to learn some tips. Let's have a look at floor appearance with switching to the 3D view, and here you have it. Now you can select the floor, and at the left you have the properties for the floor. Notice that it has a specific thickness. An elevation at top is 0 meter because it's exactly located on the same level of ground floor. An elevation at the base is negative, minus 0.15, as it's generated by default below the surface level. So this is a generic floor, as you can see at left top part, with 15 centimeters thickness. It's by default that of course you can change it with going to edit type, but for now let's escape this step. How to select a floor when I'm at the floor plan? Trying directly to click on the walls doesn't work. You should place the pointer on the floor boundary, and now instead of clicking, press bottom tab to switch to overlapped items. This is a very important tips to know in Revit, that most of the beginners don't know that. Now it says chain of walls or lines. That's not that. So press bottom tab again. Yes, it is. It says floor. Then this one, click on that. Now double click to go to sketch mode to edit that. Or I can click on edit boundary. Here you can modify the size of the floor by manipulating the boundary lines. Now let's add the floor also for the first floor. I switch to the first floor tab, and here everything that's shown here are the walls and elements from the floor below, and that's why they looked transparent. And if I open selection area to cover the everything, nothing going to selection. On the other hand, it's so useful to draw elements here in this floor, like the floor itself. Let's draw a floor. This time I'm selecting line as my drafting methods. What I need to clicking on the corners to reach back to a starting point. When I finish, I click on the green tick to generate my floor. And look at this. It says, would you like walls that go up to this floor's level to attach to its bottom? As the floor generated below the current floor, if I say yes, the wall height will shrink to bottom of the floor. Wall will attach the floors here. Click on yes, and if I want to see how it looks like, click on the 3D view and you can see how it looks like. If you accidentally close the properties panel, it's easy to back it there. Right click on blank space, and with properties you can have it there. Just click and drag it and position it where you want. Now let's have a different situation. To connect ground floor to first floor, we need stairs. Before going through the stairs, I would like to show you how to trim a section of the floor. It's gonna be a space like this. So make sure you're in the first floor and double click to edit the boundaries and make a new boundary lines here. So basically it works like this. If you create a new boundaries into existing ones, the floor would be between these two boundaries. Then click on the confirm. Now you can switch in 3D views to see how it looks like. It's interesting that even you can edit the boundaries here in 3D views, but it's a bit difficult, so it's better always to edit it in a floor plan. Now this is important. When you're creating section in the floor, you should not leave the walls without floor, because you will get the following message. Highlighted walls are attached to, but miss the highlighted target. Basically the appearance would be like this. the walls disconnected with the floors, which doesn't make sense. So create a section the way that I showed you previously. Ceilings. Another key element that we need in our project is ceilings. To create ceiling, in Architecture tab, click on this button, and you have two options to draw the ceilings. The automatic ceiling is the option that's selected by default, and just drag the pointer on an enclosed area. When the red boundary showed up, click on that to have a ceiling. But it seems nothing happened. It's here, warning. None of the created elements are visible in floor plan. Actually, ceilings are not visible in the floor plan. That's why we have ceiling plans in Properties project browser. And now you can notice the ceilings on the top left room. It displayed with the grid. However, it's possible when you try it, you don't see anything here because it depends to type of the ceilings as well. If you click on type, you will notice some of the ceilings displayed with grid, but not generic one and plain. And the generic is the option that's selected by default. Let's add ceilings to other two rooms. For example, to this one and this small one. To exit the command, just simply press the escape. Let's see how to select ceilings. It works in the way that we select the floor. So if you select in the grid, it doesn't work, or in a blank space, it doesn't work. You need to go place the pointer on the boundary lines and press the tab several times to find the ceilings. Then click. Now to select the other two, we can go through the same process, but hold the control to select different other ceilings at the same time. One more option to select the ceilings is right click on the selected ceilings and go to the select all instances and visible in view. That of course it works to other elements as well. It was very important tips to know. To select all similar elements. Warning: if you place another ceiling in the same place, you will get this warning. Warning message says there are identical instances in the same place, and this will result in double counting in schedule. And this is not what we have, so be careful about this. We should press Ctrl Z to undo the last action. But be careful, if I put different type of ceiling at the same place, I'm not gonna get that warning message. So if two ceiling of different type overlap, I don't get the notification, but it's overlapped. For this reason, I recommend if you are new in Revit, use the grid type of the ceilings. Then you're not gonna have this kind of problems. Now let's learn how to host lights in the ceilings. Lights are considered as a component. So let's see what's the component on Revit. On Revit, components are used on model building elements and are usually installed on site. For example, doors and windows are hosted by wall, and lights hosted by usually ceilings, and furniture by floor, and so on. In Architecture tab, there is command for window and door, but not for other components. To insert them, you need to click on Components. To insert the other kind of components like light. So let's click on Components, and so let's insert a light. I can go through this list to choose them, but if you do for first time, you should notice that you don't have this list. So how you can insert them? So you need load them from the family libraries. So click on load family, and from here, so here is so important, and I highly recommend it to download the family library if you still have not installed them. The link is below on description. Click there to access the Autodesk website. To install the family library, click on your Revit version, and based on your country and language, then install it. They are categorized based on language, country, or even if you use metric or imperial units. But you make sure to click on library.xfile, and you will have a very complete library. Now back to Revit. You have to choose destination driver for install the library, but the default destination is in Drive C, Program, Autodesk, RVT 2020 for 2020 version, and libraries. And to access easily to library, you can hold it and drag it into the standard folder section, but of course I have there, but you can add it there. Now to search for specific components, in this case I need lighting. Click on the country folder, lighting, architectural, then choose the family that you're looking for. In this case I'm choosing this one, flat round. Click and open it, then I can easily place it on the ceiling. And the grids will help to align all the lights. Actually there are lots of snaps here, but if you zoom in, you can exactly place them on the intersections. Do the same for others, and it's important to do everything with precision here in Revit. Sections. Sections are not included as a default template when we start a new project. We have to create them, and it's actually very simple. To insert a section, go into the View tab and click on this icon, Section. It's also show up in Quick Access bar. To create the section, you need to click in 2 points. I click here and put the second point at the other side. And note that it's not necessarily to be horizontal or vertical, it can be diagonal as well. In this case, let's make it simple and logical. This rectangle with this dash border is my view area, which can be controlled with this peaks. With this icon, you can switch your view direction. Also, this new section was generated in Project Browser. Click on the section and you have it here. Also, notice the ceilings with the lights at the left room. Now go back to floor, and I want to decrease the section to here to not cover the door. You can notice the differences. The door is not show up here anymore. Okay, that's all about sections so far. Let's go to learn about new part. Thank you for watching. I hope it was useful. Please like it, subscribe, and press this ring button to be updated about our new video.